Hi guys, welcome to my video comparison between the old MacBook and the new Unibody MacBook. As you can see, they look fairly similar as it is, but there are obviously some slight differences in the design. I'll only be going into the design aspects in this video, not the actual performance aspects from the hardware. That could come in a later video. I'm just doing this real quick before I sell this MacBook over here. I'm just going to quickly go over the ports, as I'm sure most of you know what the deal is with this already. They have taken most of the other ports off of the new version. They've done this to separate this MacBook from the MacBook Pro range, which in my opinion is a bit stupid. They should just be making the MacBook Pro better, rather than making the other versions worse. So obviously you have the power, the MagSafe on both of them, the Ethernet port. This one has a different mini display port. They've gotten rid of the FireWire port altogether, which is a bit annoying, but I don't actually have any hardware that has a FireWire interface, so I'm not complaining anyway. And they've gotten rid of the line in port. It's all in the one port, so it's line in and line out as well, which is a bit annoying obviously if you use that, but I don't, so that's not a problem for me. The new MacBook is very similar in thickness to the old one. The screen is very slightly thinner, and the whole machine is very slightly thinner as a total, but barely noticeable. The curves of the actual newer version do help it look slightly thinner when you're standing above it or at any other angle. It does look much thinner, but it actually isn't. The weight of these two machines are very similar, but I'm thinking that the newer one is very slightly lighter, and it does feel a lot more solid than the old one because of the unibody design. So, you know, just generally when you open up the monitors, and it's just much more solid. It's just much better in my opinion. Now I found that my DVD drive on my old MacBook was pretty loud when you inserted a disc, but this is just something on a whole new level. This just sounds like it's, I don't know, like it's eating beavers or something. Just check this out. If I can get it in there, yeah. Makes a pretty funky noise if you ask me. But the noise when it's actually spinning isn't too bad, so I'm not complaining. As I'm sure you're all aware, the new Unibody MacBook comes with the new style larger trackpad with the inbuilt button. I find that the surface of this is actually much better than the old one. I don't find that if you have like sweaty hands that it makes it worse to use. It seems to stay the same. Whereas on the old one, I found that it wore quite quickly in the middle, and you know, it just kind of, my finger started gripping it if you get a little bit hot and whatnot. But I think I do still prefer having the button there as opposed to it being built in, but that's just my preference. If you take a look at the rest of the inside, obviously the new one has a shinier surface, which, as I'm sure you all know as well, it does scratch very easily, which is a bit annoying. I mean, I've discovered scratches on mine, and I haven't even, you know, put anything solid on there to even scratch it. But the whole surface as a whole is better because it wears better, whereas this tends to go shiny on the old one and goes grey, whereas this new one, you know, stays white. I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but you can see this one's gone, I think it started off grey. But either way, it doesn't wear as well at all. The whole design as a whole is much better on the newer one because of the unibody design. It's much more solid, and you know, it just feels like it's going to last longer than the older one. Now, this MacBook that I have here, the unibody one, is the slightly older one, the late 2009 model. So it's the 2.26 GHz model. that has the 7-hour battery, not the 10-hour battery. Now I do struggle to get 7 hours out of it. I've probably had about 5.5, and that's not with the screen on full settings, and with Bluetooth turned off, Ethernet turned off, and stuff like that. So I haven't actually done a properly timed run, but going off the battery meter in the corner, the most I've had is about 5.5 hours, as opposed to the quoted 7. I'm not sure what parameters that included, but either way, so do bear that in mind. Now, this brings me onto the screen on this new MacBook. When I first got this, the older MacBook, I got it second hand, and I thought the screen was amazing. It's still a good screen, but for sure, when you get this new one with the LED backlit screen, it is just so much better. It's 100% better. Just makes the colours look really good. The screen is about, I don't know, but it's so much brighter. It just makes the general viewing experience much better in my opinion, and I'm sure you will agree. I found that when I used my older MacBook for videos on YouTube and stuff, it used to get hot very quickly. I use SMT fan control, which tells me the temperature in the corner, and it used to run at about maybe 60-65 degrees when watching videos on YouTube, which obviously is really annoying when you're sat in bed at night and your fan's just there like a jet engine. I found that the cooling on this new one is much better. Probably sits at around 50 degrees on watching HD video on YouTube, which obviously doesn't spin the fan up much more, and the fan as a whole on the new one is much quieter, whereas the old one made a very high-pitched noise. This is more of a gentle, whispery kind of noise and stuff, so much better as a whole. Which brings me on to the MagSafe. There is a new MagSafe connector on the new one, which looks like this. In my opinion, it's really annoying. It's great if you have it on a desk like this and it goes straight down the back, but if you have it somewhere else, for instance, I DJ, so I have the power supply off to the side, which makes things really awkward because it pulls out easily and just kinks the wire, and the wire is much thicker on this one, I found as well, so it's harder to bend. The other way to do it is to put it the other way around, but then that blocks the Ethernet port, so not really winning either way. I still think that this is much better on the old one because it goes either way, without a fuss. It can go backwards, forwards, sideways, whatever. But I prefer the old one. But that's just, a really small thing. And obviously they've removed the infrared port from the new one, so you can't use the Apple remote, which is a minor thing. But, if you use your laptop a lot for playing music and stuff, it could get quite annoying, I would imagine. One thing that really baffled me was the new bottom on the new MacBook, whereas they've tried to put some kind of grippy surface that covers up the whole thing. And what I find is all this does is get dirty. It doesn't grip any more than the old 4-feet design on the old MacBook. In fact, the old MacBook grips on this surface better than this one does. It pushes, it's definitely more resistance than the old one. The only plus side I can see to that is that it can be replaced easily. And cheaply, I would imagine, but it is Apple, so maybe not. Whereas on this one, the bottom gets scratched and whatever, but it is only the bottom, and I think that that was a really stupid thing to do on Apple's behalf, because it just doesn't grip any better, and it looks worse in my opinion, but that's just slightly bigger thing, but not major, not something to stop you from buying it. Just on a really random note, I wanted to talk about the box really quickly. When I first got the old MacBook, I thought, wow, that box is tiny. But then I got sent this in the post, and I didn't even think it was a MacBook, because it's literally so small. If you look at it in comparison to the other one, you can already see that that's, about 4 inches off the height. It's about, probably about 2 centimeters thinner You know, and if you look at this in comparison to a CD case, I don't know, it might give you a slight idea of how small this actually is. And then if you look at the actual size of the laptop, how they did that, I don't know, but it all fits in there, and is really good because obviously it cuts down on waste, which is good for the environment. Either way, thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll be sending away my old MacBook, so I just thought I'd do this real quickly. I don't really see many comparisons on YouTube, so I thought I would do that. But yeah, I might do a review on the actual the Unibody MacBook as a whole, including speed and whatnot. But in all, if you're thinking about this upgrade, I would definitely recommend it, despite the different ports that it doesn't have. But the general speed of the machine and the build quality and whatnot just generally makes it a very good upgrade, even if you're just trying to keep value for resale value, which is what I did. Either way, thank you for watching, and watch out for another video.